Chris Hahn is now with us, host of the Aggressive Progressive podcast. I don't know if you heard George earlier, Chris. I said, should Democrats be a little hesitant to pop champagne bottles right now? Because every time Democrats have said this is the moment we got Donald Trump, he somehow has had an extra political life. And I'm wondering if right now is not going to be a moment we look back on and go, oh boy.
I never pop the champagne to declare Trump dead anymore. I mean, I've done it many times, but I will never do it again. And we all know that there is a 30% block in this country that is going to go with Trump, ride or die, no matter what. He is still the likely GOP nominee to be president of the United States as we sit here tonight listening to these indictments. Now, we haven't read the indictments. We don't know exactly what they're going to say when we actually do read them. But again, I think that 30% of the country, they know Donald Trump's a bad guy. They know he's a scoundrel, but he's their scoundrel and they're with him. And that makes us one, gas crisis away from Donald Trump being president of the United States again. And that is something that I don't want to live with. And I think that the Republican Party and the people running against Donald Trump should take this very seriously, and they should take this opportunity to attack him mercilessly, and not just Chris Christie. Everyone contending for that job need to say that the party deserves better, the country deserves better. But no, as a Democrat, I'm not popping champagnes right now because I don't think that they're willing to do that. Mike Pence last night said the guy, betrayed the Constitution, but he'd still vote for him if he was the nominee. And quite frankly, that doesn't go far enough for me.
Look, Donald Trump always works best when he is playing the victim. We've seen that over time. It works best with his base, and frankly, it even works best with swing voters because there's a sort of a fundamental fairness feeling that people in America have that swing voters who may not be that political don't like seeing the power of the federal government used for political purposes. How do Democrats convince voters, swing voters, independents, that Hillary Clinton shouldn't have been indicted for having classified emails on her server in her bedroom or basement or wherever the broom closet was with the server, but Donald Trump, the former president, guarded by the Secret Service, should be indicted for documents, and therefore this is not a political prosecution?
Well, you can't get into the nuances, right? The nuances of that argument are very different. What Hillary Clinton did was very different. What Donald Trump did was intentional, willful. He moved it around. He hid them, according to what we've heard. We don't know for sure yet. But you can't get into that argument in the political arena. You're explaining and you're losing. So Democrats, look, I don't believe Donald Trump could be elected president of the United States again, barring some sort of economic calamity or foreign affairs calamity that happens between now and next November. Unfortunately, we live in a very unstable world where that can actually happen. So we have to do everything we can to make sure this man doesn't win the Republican nomination for president. The Republicans who believe that he's unfit for office, and there are many of them, they need to stand up loudly every single day together and push back on it. And if they don't do that, he is going to be the nominee. If one of them do it at a time, he will beat that person down like he did in 2016, and he will grow stronger and stronger and stronger, and he will be the Republican nominee. And then the Democrats better hope to God that there isn't a calamity that makes him president again.
All right. Chris Hahn, we're going to mark this tape because there's a lot of predictions in there that make an awful lot of sense. Thank you. Back with George Will for the last couple of minutes of our coverage here. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.